Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today for a very special and exciting Barbados webinar. First and foremost, I hope you're all staying safe and healthy, and I appreciate your time today. My name is Anna. I'm an Industry Relations Manager here at CLIA, and I'm going to just quickly go through some housekeeping before introducing our presenters. This webinar will run about 45 minutes with time for questions at the end. Please feel free to type your questions into the questions module of the webinar, and we'll get to them at the conclusion of the presentation. This webinar is being recorded and will be posted on CLIA's YouTube channel, which is CLIA Global. And with that, it is my pleasure to introduce our presenters, Tia Bruns and Joseph Benfield. Tia is the Business Development Officer for Cruise for Barbados Tourism Marketing, and Joseph is the owner and principal creative of Milestone Events Barbados, which is the premium supplier for luxury and bespoke events, weddings, special events, hotels, and private event venues in Barbados. And with that, take it away. Tell us all about Barbados.
Thank you, Anna. Good afternoon, travel advisors. I trust that everyone is well and staying safe during the pandemic. I want to assure you all that brighter days are to come for our strong and resilient tourism industry. To give you a snapshot of the situation in Barbados as it relates to COVID, the island overall had 97 cases with 83 recoveries, and unfortunately, we had 7 deaths. The active cases remain in isolation and are receiving care through our Ministry of Health at our quarantine facilities. To date, all businesses in Barbados were given the go-ahead to reopen by our Prime Minister on June 15th, as we came out of several restrictions to control the spread of COVID-19 on the island. And most of our cases were really imported. We did not have any inter-community spread throughout the island. It was due to mainly Barbadians returning from overseas. But even though the country was given the all clear to reopen, residents were all still observing the health and safety protocols to remain safe. We have to wear masks when we go out in public, when we go to the supermarket, when we go shopping. We have to sanitize when we enter all facilities all businesses on the island. And of course, we are all still practicing social distancing. So as many of you know, Barbados is one of the top destinations for Southern Caribbean itineraries when it comes to cruising. And we are all eagerly awaiting the restart of the cruise industry. And we look forward to working with all of you to return to the momentum that we enjoyed pre-COVID as soon as possible and as safely as possible. But I want to point out that we are very, very especially grateful to all of you, our travel advisors and our travel partners, for our success over the years, because we know without you that our success for cruising would not have been possible. And we believe that maintaining these strong relationships is key to our industry surviving these unprecedented circumstances. We also want you to know that we are here to lend any support in any way we can to you, our travel partners, but more importantly, to you, our friends of Barbados. And we will definitely keep you posted as we are working on a number of initiatives for the travel agent community, and we will be sharing those with you as they roll out. As it relates to reopening to tourism, at this moment, our government and local health officials are still finalizing the official health and safety protocols for the reopening of the island to tourism activity. And we will definitely be sharing those with you and through an official press release once those are released by our government officials. We expect that our Prime Minister will make an official statement on these protocols sometime during this week. And we will definitely keep you in the loop for that as you plan to book your clients. I know that you guys have been involved in the constant cycle of booking and canceling and postponing and rebooking. So I know that this has been a very stressful time, and we thank you for your continued commitment to the destination. So with that said, just to give you kind of a refresher on all that Barbados is and all that we have to offer. We are a year-round, highly competitive, immersive destination. There's something in Barbados for every type of traveler, from your ultra luxury to your budget traveler. We were also rated as the most satisfying, one of the most satisfying destinations in the world. We were also rated as one of the top 5 destinations by TripAdvisor in the Caribbean, and Cruise Credit also rated us as one of the top 5 destinations for cruises in the Caribbean. And one of our main selling points in Barbados, is our people, and the safety of the destination go hand in hand. And we were rated one of these as the safest destination by the World Economic Forum in the world. And as I said, our people are our greatest asset, and they contribute to the overall level of safety. When you come to Barbados, your clients can move around on their own and they can feel safe. If they get lost, the locals will help them find their way. Just that very warm and welcoming presence here on the island from the local Barbadian people. And just to give you an idea, most of the major lines, when we do restart the cruise industry, do call at Barbados. Actually, at present, Barbados is one of the few havens for the cruise ships at the moment. We had over 30, up to 31 ships that passed through our port. We've been a safe haven for them during this time. We're currently involved in the repatriation of several of the crew back to their homes, whether it be in South America, in Europe, or in wider Asia. Barbados has been heavily involved in that humanitarian effort. So if you come to Barbados right now, you see several ships lining the coast or docked in our port facility as we assist the ships in getting those crew back home. So we hope that we will reap the benefits of this as well as we look to restart cruising, that these ships you'll see all these ships and you'll be able to book your clients to Barbados, because we'll have all these additional ships coming to Barbados on regular cruise itineraries. So in keeping with the global theme of staying safe and healthy, there are a number of spots and experiences for your clients when they visit the island that we would recommend as we are able to welcome visitors again, which we hope will be sometime soon. Coco Hill Forest, it's a wide area in the interior of the island, and it's famous for hiking. There are lots of indigenous plants and fruit trees there. They offer morning yoga, you can do a hike, and they offer breakfast as well. So you can go there, you can relax, or you can do a hike, you can participate in yoga, you can learn all about the health benefits with the fruits and stuff that are grown there. And they also sell a lot of that whole farm to table activity. They produce a lot of what they grow, they also produce for consumption as well. Then we have Walker's Reserve, which is a big environmental project going on in the interior of the island as well. So they have several projects running at the moment to contribute to the overall conservation and the forestry in that area. So for visitors to the island, they currently have a program where you could go there and you can plant a tree. And this tree will be your special tree. And every time you come to the island, you can go and you can see the progress that the tree has made. And this will be your special tree in Barbados. And then when it bears fruit, you can get some of those fruit when you come to the island. There's also a big turtle nesting site at that area, but the turtles were affected because a lot of the shrubbery and the forest along the coast was destroyed over time. So they're trying to rebuild a lot of that along the coast. So they're encouraging people to come and plant trees. There are lots of wildlife in that area. They're a big habitat for birds. So if you're into conservation and you want to help, and with global warming is now a big thing, Walker's Reserve is a great way that you can come and assist with that overall conservation effort. Copacabana Beach Club, a pretty new facility. It sits right on the beach. And if you just want to lounge around, you want to breathe in fresh air off the ocean, they have a restaurant, you can do lunch, tons of water sporting activities for those people who like to be on the water. There's also a turtle population there, so you can go and you can snorkel and you can swim with the turtles. Lots of reefs and wrecks around that area as well, so you can snorkel and see the reefs and the wrecks. And they're also used as a departure facility for Virgin, but we're looking to expand that to incorporate other tour operators and cruise lines as well. So for example, you know, Barbados is one of the home porting hub of the Southern Caribbean, if I can declare that. So we have many people who fly to Barbados to begin their cruise. So we're looking at working with Copa to be a transit point where guests can come and, you know, they can lounge around either before they go to the port or after their cruise is finished before they fly out to go home as part of their cruise vacation. Bath Beach House, another new hotspot. They offer, you can go there, you can hike, you can have lunch, you can kayak. And when the tide is really, really low, you can actually walk for almost a mile out into the ocean, and the water would only be waist deep. And this is some of the freshest, purest breeze that you can inhale at Bath, because from the time this breeze leaves the west coast of Africa, there's been no human interruption. So many people who are sick and suffering from ailments, they go here and they just relax and enjoy the fresh breeze. You could even go swimming here because the water is pretty safe on this end of the East Coast. Okay. Just to give you a snapshot of some of the events that may be happening next year, we're still awaiting confirmation. You know, in Barbados, every month there's always a major activity happening that tourists can enjoy or they can attend. But obviously, because of COVID, many things were either canceled or postponed to next year. So we're still awaiting the confirmation on several events coming up. But I can tell you for sure, unfortunately, we had to cancel it this year. But our annual summer carnival, which is Crossover, will definitely be taking place in 2021. And it runs from pretty much the end of June to the first Monday in August. And it includes several exciting activities. You have parties every week. There are a number of other activities, calypso competitions, and every activities that culminate to the big jump up on the first Monday in August, which is the Grand Kadooment, where you get to see all the colorful costume bands and you can dress in your skimpy costumes and you party to music, and there's lots of food, there's lots of fun and revelry, and that will definitely be taking place next year. And then we have our annual Food and Rum Festival. It is the premier festival in the Caribbean. 4 days of culinary, amazing food and drink. We have our local culinary artisans. We also have chefs that fly in from the UK. We have chefs from the US and Canada and in the Caribbean as well. And there are several events over the span of those 4 days. So lots of food. Obviously, Barbados is the birthplace of rum, so rum is definitely included in there. And then, of course, we have 1,500 rum shops on the island, and that forms part of the excitement as well, because you have activities around the island, and the rum shop culture obviously is incorporated there. So our Food and Rum Festival will definitely be on our calendar for next year as one of our major activities. So just to give you a summary, you know, we're still here, we're still with you. We're trying to ride this wave out, and I trust that we will all come out of this unscathed, and we'll be ready to restart tourism again. I know that it's been a challenge up until this point, and I know that we will come out of this stronger than ever. At this point, I will hand you over to Joseph, who will tell you all about weddings, because COVID definitely has not stopped anyone from getting married. But he will tell you all about getting married in Barbados.
Yes. Thank you. Definitely, put a little bit of a pause or maybe some postponement, but people are going to get married. And there are few places more romantic than shores of Barbados to get married. It's year-round sunshine, warm beaches, and beautiful waters.
Joseph, sorry, this is Anna. We're having a little bit of trouble hearing you. Is there any way you could maybe move closer to a microphone?
Interesting. Yes.
All right.
Is that
It's better to push better.
is that better?
It's a little bit better. Are you in the same place, you and Tia?
Yeah.
If there's any way that you could be where Tia was, that would sound better. Thank you.
Let me see if I can move on.
All right, then I switch to the other side of the table. He was on the opposite side of the table.
Got it.
So, in the meantime, if there are any specific questions, you can always shoot them. Yes, as I was saying, I don't think there's anywhere more romantic than Barbados that you can get married. Well, all your friends are getting married in churches and registry offices. Then why not make your big day stand out by getting married right here in Barbados on the beach? That would be something special. We in Barbados, we've made it very, very easy to get married because it's such a popular wedding destination. So in Barbados, there are no residency requirements, there are no waiting requirements. You can come in, get to the Ministry of Health, Ministry of Home Affairs, sorry, with all your relevant paperwork, and then you can just go get married. And of course, because we have because getting married in Barbados is so popular, we've got a huge wedding industry that can help you get married. Planners will help you arrange everything, and they've got professionals that manage the entire fair, photographers, florists, interior decorators, all of whom are highly trained, some internationally, and all deliver world-class service. Lots of our professionals here in the island, they're members of the international associations, the International Identity Association, the Wedding Association. So we're very, very versed in what is it that your clients are looking for. Now, we can do anything. We can deliver anything from a big splashy wedding to a simple affair on the beach. Anything you want, anything your client desires, we can provide, irrespective of what you have in mind. And when you think about Barbados, you think about all the options for getting married. It's an amazing place to just come and do that time activity. Now, lots of people when they think of a destination wedding, they get put off by the paperwork that is needed, but not in Barbados. The authorities have cut down a lot of that unnecessary documentation, and you can get married in one day. All you need to do is to have arrange to have a magistrate or a priest to organize the ceremony. And once you have that in mind, you can head straight to the Ministry of Home Affairs, get your license. Once you have the documents you need, then you can walk straight up the aisle after leaving the Ministry of Home Affairs. So if you're coming to Barbados and you're thinking that you may pop the question and get hitched on the island, you want to have a valid passport. Of course, you'll have that if you're traveling. Original birth certificate or a certified copy. If you're adopted, your certificate of adoption will be needed. Details of occupations must be provided. Details of your domestic address are essential. So if you could bring some proof of your domestic address, that would be helpful. If you have changed your name by deed poll, you must provide all the legal paperwork to support this. And then if either you or your partner is under 18, a legal affidavit must be signed showing you have permission to marry. If divorced, an original decree absolute is vital. Also, your return ticket will be needed. If your spouse has died, then you'll need to have their death certificate and your original marriage certificate. Now, as I said, you have especially if you're coming off a cruise, meeting the most scenic place to get married is on the beach. But for those who might fancy something different, there's the botanical gardens, there's the Andromeda Gardens, Orchid World, which is an amazing, amazing garden of some of the most spectacular orchids you'll ever see in the world. Orchid World. That's a lovely place to get married as well. You also have the Flower Forest, which is something out of this world, and it opens out onto the Atlantic Ocean, and it's extremely spectacular. It's just breathtaking, right? And for those who definitely want to get married in a church, we have a lot of historic chapels and churches with stained glass windows. Some of the from old Barbados, and these provide, I think St. Andrew and St. John Church and St. George's Church, they just provide a perfect backdrop for a special day in Barbados. I can't think of a better place to get married than in Barbados. Now, when you think of getting married, you think of the honeymoon as well. And so you can actually do a 2-for-1 in Barbados, because what better place to honeymoon than in Barbados? So you get married in spectacular Barbados, and then you have a whole array of options for honeymoons. And even if you want to, if you're in Barbados and you want a honeymoon, you can always hop over to another one of the islands. But you're in Barbados, you're in paradise already. Why move and go any place, right? Another very good reason for getting married in Barbados is our weather. I mean, if you're in the US or UK or Canada, the seasons bring its own peculiarities. In Barbados, it's 365 days of lovely sunshine. And if you get a rain shower, it's showers of blessings. Brief shower, and you go again. And so there's less chance of a washout if you've gone to all the trouble to plan your wedding and have the wedding intervene. So I think Barbados is a very, very, very good option, and it's more affordable than you think. That a lot of times when people think of destination wedding, you probably picture the money leaving your bank account. But while we can certainly go all fancy and expensive, and why shouldn't you? Because this is a special day. There are certainly ways to do it in Barbados on a budget. And we have the venues, and we have the parks, we have the beaches, and to do anything in any price scale. So it's a very, very special place to get married. We have all the professionals that you need to organize a wedding, a big splashy affair or a small affair, and once you get hitched in Barbados, and if you look at that picture there, you'll never forget it. It'll be a magical experience, and one you remember forever. So I think pretty much that in a nutshell is the wedding industry in Barbados. If there are any questions, we can definitely answer. I'm sure some of you may have some specific questions.
Sure, we do have some questions coming in. Our first one is, are you the correct person to contact if someone is planning a wedding in Barbados?
Well, I am one of the people that you can contact. We can arrange from anything you want done in Barbados. We can arrange it and we can provide. So definitely you can contact us.
Okay, perfect. And can I share your email with everyone on the webinar?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Perfect. Thank you. So everyone will be getting your contact information. I'm sure you'll be getting a lot of questions by email. We have another question about same-sex marriage. Do you have same-sex marriage in Barbados?
Unfortunately, we don't at this time. You can have the ceremony here, but it would not be legal.
Illegal.
It's still illegal for same-sex couples to be married in Barbados. You can have your honeymoon here, and you can have the ceremony, but it would not be recognized as legal.
You'll have a ceremony, not a legal ceremony, but we've had a lot of same-sex weddings here in Barbados. The reception part of it, the reception, the honeymoon part of it in Barbados, but legally, I think the legislation is, we're trying to work through that legislation, but it's not legal as yet. So you have to get married in, say, like a New York or two, but the reception and everything else can happen here.
Okay, got it. We have a question from Stephen, who is wondering if a universal church minister can marry a couple in Barbados.
No. That minister, the person marrying the first couple in Barbados has to be registered and officially licensed to marry couples here in Barbados. So to be a magistrate or a priest that's ordained and registered in Barbados. Sorry.
I'm not sure if you guys have magistrates, but it would be a judge then in your instance.
Oh, right. Yes.
Okay, got it. And we have a few people wondering if there is any collateral that they can use on their social media platform. So any pictures from this presentation or any other collateral that you can provide, what is available to use?
What they can do is that we can email a link with images that they can definitely use on their social media. Absolutely.
Perfect. And sorry, you're cutting in and out.
I said I will put together another presentation. In fact, I will put together the same presentation that I just gave. I will just type it up and send it to you, and that will have some images as well.
Okay. And we have a question from Dawn, not related to weddings, but she is wondering if the Barbados Rum Festival is going on this year, and if so, what date?
Well, to date, they haven't already said it's off, so that's still something that's up in the air. So hopefully by August, we should have an idea as to what will be happening during the last quarter of the year. By the end of August.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yes.
And
so we'll be updating, we will update our social media and our website so that everyone will be informed.
Okay, perfect. And then another COVID question. Tanya is wondering if there are health screenings or COVID testing upon arrival, or if you know if there will be.
Sorry, I lost you a bit. Say that again.
Sorry, we're wondering if there are health screenings or COVID testing upon arrival, or if that is a plan that you have.
So this is what the government officials are currently working through, but there will be, I could tell you there will be some level of screening when visitors come again. But exactly what, we are not sure yet, but there will be some level of screening when visitors arrive.
Okay, got it. And it looks like those are all of our questions for now. Oh, so, actually, sorry, we have some. Sorry, okay. We just have one more. Actually, I don't know if you'll be able to answer this, but if you have any information on when cruises will be sailing again in the Caribbean.
So that's the $1 million question.
Yes.
so far in our discussions with our cruising partners, the plan is to have the shorter cruises begin first because they don't plan to deploy all the vessels at once. But we've, in talking to our partners here at the port, we do still have bookings beginning in October, because that's when our cruise season normally begins, the middle of October. So it would have begun the middle of October and run to the end of April 2021. So for 2021, for sure, we've been getting bookings. But so far, the bookings from October through December for this year are kind of fluid. So you have some lanes that are canceling, some lanes that are canceling certain dates but rebooking. But it's very fluid at this point. But so far, we have bookings from October 2020.
Okay, that makes sense. Sorry, we do have some more questions coming in if you want to answer those.
No, that's fine, that's fine.
Okay, this question is from Michelle, who's wondering if you have a Barbados specialist program.
We do. It's facilitated through Travel Agent University. So you can go on and register to take the Barbados course. It takes about 20 minutes to complete all the modules. And at the end, we will mail you the certificate. And I'm sorry, but I really should have kept that slide in this presentation. There are a series of benefits when you become a Barbados specialist, and that includes farm trips, if you need co-op support, if you're having an event at your agency, if you're home based and you need marketing support. There are a number of benefits when you become a Barbados specialist, and those are a few. But I can share those via email with the registrants after this so that they know what the benefits are.
Yes, perfect. And we have a lot of people asking about other exciting things to do on the island. So I know you mentioned a lot, Tia, and all of the wedding information was great, but any other exciting information and activities that you can speak to, that would be great.
So we kind of, yeah, I'll mention them. Why we did not include them in this slide is that, in this presentation, is because we really wanted to, we didn't want to come at you guys with a hard sell, because we could appreciate that we've been in this constant cycle of booking and rebooking and with all the uncertainty. But definitely, Barbados is the birthplace of rum. As I said, we have over 1,500 rum shops. Sorry. And we have what we call the rum shop crawls, where you visit different rum shops and you obviously drink rum and local beer. And the rum shops also serve food. So that's a major activity for tourists who come to the island. You can take a catamaran and sail down the west coast, swim with the turtles, you can snorkel, see the reefs and the wrecks, you can go swimming. You can do the traditional thing of sunbathing. We have a place called Oystins. That's a type of activity on Fridays and Saturday nights. You can go and you can watch your food being prepared on the open flame, and you can mingle with the locals. And again, you can drink rum with the local beer. Rum is kind of a staple in most activities, I would say, in Barbados, even in getting married. I think we should be toast with rum and not champagne, right, Joseph? Oh, yeah. We have Bridgetown, which is our World UNESCO Heritage Site, and there are lots of hot spots in and around Bridgetown. We have one of the oldest synagogues in the Western Hemisphere. So for your clients who are Jewish, they can visit the synagogue and learn all about the Jewish community in Barbados. We have the third oldest parliament in the Western Hemisphere, and they offer tours. You can visit our House of Assembly. That's where government meets every Tuesday and they plan the affairs of the country. We have the Garrison, which is a major historic area as part of the World UNESCO Heritage Site as well. And George Washington House, which is where George Washington, your former president, that's where he lived when he visited Barbados. And Barbados is the only place that he would have visited outside of the US. He was here because his brother was battling tuberculosis, and he came here to be nursed back to health. So George Washington, they offer daily tours. There's Dinner with George, where this guy actually dresses up like George and tells you the story of George's life and his love escapades while he lived in Barbados. And apparently this is where George, it was smallpox that he caught, and then he was immune. And that's how he was able to go back to the US and win the war against the British, I think it was. So that's George Washington House. We have a place called St. Nicholas Abbey. We have quite a few remaining. Well, first of all, Barbados used to be a major colony for Great Britain, and of course, you know what came with colonialism, slavery. So we used to be a very important colony for Britain, and a lot of the slaves that were dispersed throughout the West passed through Barbados. So we still have a lot of remnants of that era. We have quite a few plantation houses on the island that are now have been turned into homes, and they do tours. St. Nicholas Abbey happens to be one of those. That site has a very colorful history when it comes to the whole slave era, and it's now a rum distillery. They do tour. They have a train. Barbados used to have a train system back in the 1800s, so that kind of mimics the train system that we had back in the day. So they offer the rum tour. You can go there and you can watch the process of rum making, and you can have your name engraved on the bottle that you take away with you. So a very authentic experience, which you can learn about the history of the island, because Barbados, along with having fun and enjoying Barbados, you get to learn a lot about our history and who we are and where we came from. I'm thinking about what else I could talk about. Food.
We actually have a question about food from Dawn.
Okay.
Who was wondering about your Friday fish fries.
Yeah, so that was oysters that I mentioned earlier. So that's famous because it started out as a local thing, and then the visitors kind of took it over. So every Friday and Saturday nights in Oystins, you can go there, and then Oystins sits on a fish complex. So all of the fish that is prepared and sold by the shops in Oystins is caught literally right next door. So everything is pretty much fresh. So there are lots of shops dotted along the street in Oystins where you can go and you can purchase fish, seafood that's caught by the fishing boats. There are lots of rum shops in that area. There's also entertainment there, lots of local music. So it really tells the story of how Bajans kind of, you know, entertain themselves and eat out and interact with the visitors.
Okay, perfect. And we do have some people writing in about Rihanna. So if you want to just mention anything about her.
Yeah, so Rihanna is our native island girl. She's actually an official ambassador. She has diplomatic status. And the street where she was born and grew up is called Rihanna Drive. So visitors, especially when a lot of cruise ships are in port, taxi cars line the street with people going to see the house where she lived and grew up. And there's also a monument there in her honor at the top of that street. So the street is actually called Rihanna Drive. So you get to kind of see her humble beginnings, and it's literally around the corner from the port.
Well, between that and all the fresh food and the rum, that all sounds incredible. And after 3 months of quarantine, I'm sure this sounds like heaven to all of us.
Yep. Oh yeah.
And it's actually a food.
Okay, so it looks like those are all of our questions.
Are you hearing us, Anna?
No, sorry.
Oh,
Anna?
I can hear you now.
Right. What I was saying is that one of the things Tia forgot to mention was the licorice tour. And this is a tour, it's almost like a crawl. And it's like a tour of all the local food stands and street food in the on the South Coast. And you literally go through and you eat at every stand and drink rum at every stand. And it's actually one of the most exciting things recently that the tourists talk about. They really, really love it. The licorice food tour, right?
Yeah, I can't imagine anything better than that. So I think we're all sold. Once we can, we're all coming.
Yeah, we have another food walking tour. There's a couple food tours on offer.
Sorry, you're cutting out again.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Right. No, I was saying that there are a couple other food walking tours. There's one of Bridgetown as well. So there are a couple of them that, you know, clients would have to choose from.
Okay, got it. And it looks like those are all of our questions. We actually do have some agents that are saying they are coming in October. So very jealous, very exciting.
Oh, great, great. So just reach out to me, you know, and we'll see what we can put together. Whenever we know that agents are coming, this is another thing. Anytime you guys are ever visiting the island, you know, just reach out to us, and we are always willing to assist with organizing any activities while you're here to ensure that you get a real sample of what Barbados has to offer. So make sure you reach out to us, reach out to me at least 2 weeks before you're coming.
And thank you so much for all the information. And thank you everyone for joining us.
Thank you. And we will be sending you a video that we can show during the presentation, which kind of gives you a snapshot of the island as well. So Anna will be, you guys can look for that from Anna.
Yes, so look forward to some very helpful links and resources.
And then when we get the official protocols, we will definitely be distributing that as well.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you
so
again.
Much have a
for joining us. It was a pleasure having you.
Yes, have a fantastic rest of your day and your week. Bye.
Thank you. Stay safe. Bye-bye.